all-natural hyaluronic acid filler. So maintain and improve your facial appearance. For more information, call 453-6417 or 485-9818.
Thanks and I give to the Most High and pray the High Celestial. Bless her and I guide her and I keep her and I protect her. Let not the dragon or the serpent have no power over him. Scatter them, flatter them, batter them, release and burn them for our jaws. 1, 2.
For children in the army, no. Your children wake up and stop walking your sleep. Lift your heads up, it's no time to take defeat. If we're not gonna do bed, we shall slowly push it over. Only the will let it be done. We shall slowly push it over. Yeah. Where is the love? They sing about so much. Yeah. Every day it's the same old chorus. Yeah. They say it with their mouth, but there's a conflict in their heart. No. Something to add up, a revolution why start. Your children wake up and stop walking your sleep. Lift your heads up, it's no time to take defeat. If we're not gonna do good, we shall slowly push it over. Only the will let it be done. We shall slowly push it over. Yeah. Let them say, yeah. Say what they wanna say. Did they hear the people cry? I feel the pain we bear. You betrayed us and you say that you care. You won't convince us with your lies. So please go the other way. Children, wake up and stop walking your sleep. Lift your heads up, it's no time to take defeat. If we're not gonna do good, we shall slowly push it over. Only the will let it be done. We shall slowly push it over. Yeah. Them no fascinate way, them can't vaccinate way. We got the right to choose our own destiny, yeah. Judge a different way, and them not be friend way. Cause we don't come to lose, but stuff already give us a victory. Our children wake up. Come again. Your children wake up and stop walking your sleep. Lift your heads up, it's no time to take defeat. If we're not gonna do good, we shall slowly push it over. Only the will let it be done. We shall slowly push it over. Yeah.
You're watching MBC.
The winning numbers for the evening draw of Thursday, 10th June 2021 were tic-tac-toe, 1, 2, 7, 10, 16, 18, 21, Big 4, 8770, Big 4 Multi-X, 2X, pick 2, 6, 5, pick 2 Multi-X, FP, 1 off, 700, lucky 3, 746.
You're watching MBC.
The man who has been keeping us informed over the last 4 years. The man who warned us that Shasta was bad. A lot of people warned us, but we did not listen. So my brothers and my sisters, I guess you know what we do. Look like you know. Alright, so my brothers and my sisters, let us welcome to address you, Brother Richard.
Good evening, folks. Welcome to another episode of the program, Can I Help You? I'm your host, Richard Frederick. You know, folks, I rather suspect that tonight's show is going to be good. We've not started, and we are already at 1,000 live viewers. 1,000 live viewers mo même dien mo ko même parler ek meno chay parler pour parler oswe ek no hane 100 live viewers. Let me say good night to the class of Can I Help You? You know, all of them, Pinky, Karen Crafton. Hey, Karen Tobier, long I've not said a good night to you. Good night to you, Karen Tobier. Karen Crafton, Elizabeth Charles, Francis and Sophia in New York, Bia in New York, Cheryl, Sharon, Trevor Francis, and all the others. Those in England, Delma, Fabian, Makla, and all the others. Good night to all of you from wherever you are locked on. I want to send a special belated birthday greeting to Risa Xavier, Nurse Risa Xavier. Belated birthday greetings to you. Unfortunately, I was not on last week, so I could not have extended those greetings that seemingly emanate from the bottom of your husband's heart. Mookie, good night to you. And good night to all the kids. Let me say good night to Mrs. Edward. Mrs. Edward, the head teacher of the Ave Maria Infant School. Good night to you. Hope you are doing better. I know you were ill, but I understood that the good Lord has set his angels over you and you are doing fairly well. Kenneth, your husband, good night to you. Mustin, Saudi, Yuris, Boswe, Zol, Boswe, Shirley and Andrew, Boswe, Kalmaja, good night to you. Good night to Moving Rosary, Mark Heinekat, St. Lucian Patriot, good night to you. Cover Didier, you and I have a case today, huh? You start playing the fool. You and I have a case to deal. And I'm using Adrian Auger and Stephen King as my judges because they are Patriotic Objective St. Lucians. Hey, good night to you. Good night, my brother. You must be there if Prio and all the others. Hey, the girls tell me they're not coming by Prio again because everybody that come there, you want their number. I tell you, you must stop that, you know. Hey, dubut bagay sala. Uten samakadula. Bon. Good night, Prio. You Brown. Good night to you. The Siwaks in Forest. Yeah. How can I ever forget you guys? Hello. I have not, you all invite me for the drink yet. Dax told me we were supposed to tune up. And apparently he left me down, and I've not visited you guys. So when you already let me know, Richard Frederick will visit your doorsteps to have my belated birthday drink. But good night to all of you. Good people you are indeed. The Bannon crew, good night to you, Azza. You know, first all I never knew you, they call it Azza. Good night to the Bannon crew, Azza. MacArthur, good night to you. Evelyn, Julian, and the folks at Hadesad, good night to all of you. Jasmine Charles, Mark has asked me not to forget you. Jasmine Charles of Mondino, good night to you. Good night to Shivan of Sarot, belated birthday greetings. Your birthday was last Thursday as well. Belated birthday greetings to you, coming from your best friend and all others, Kendela. Kendela, good night to you. Of Ancillary, good night to your father. Kiran, Laslawi Pra, Bonsoir. Ro in Sanssouci, good night to you. Annette from Bagatelle, good night to you. Good night. I hope I take instructions from my technical staff. Once you tell them, I am obligated. All right. Kent of Riviera Mita, the driver by MNC, good night to you. Whilst I'm in Riviera Mita, let me say good night to Lucian Parrot. Pam Tikut, good night to you. Folks, somebody turned 102 yesterday. Could you put up that pic, please? Miss Akuri of Denry. Miss Akuri, good night to you. You turned 102, but you look like you're 21 there. You know, you look very well. Well, kawiti den rudu te kame shy puissant. You dis nom puissant beaucoup nom. Mate sa vie beaucoup femme, but you look very, very well for 102. May the Almighty keep you. May He give you another 102 if that is physically possible. Spiritually it is. He can give you 1,000,000 years. But I don't know if you'll have the physical ability to withstand or withhold, you know, everything for another 100 years. May God bless you. Keep doing what you're doing, because certainly you are doing something right. So take care. I saved the best to last. Yesterday, guess whose birthday it was? On Monday, sorry. Put up that pic for me. George T. Good night to you, brother George T. Lord, one thing you want to play you nicer than your father, or you more handsome than your father. The thing is, your father is older than you, and he invariably, you know, his wrinkles would be more pronounced. But when he was young as you are, Lord, he seemed to have been a little more handsome than you. George T, good night to you. Belated birthday greetings. You turned, folks, for those who don't know, this is Mr. George Theophilus and his celebrated son, Lon Theophilus. Mr. George Theophilus is the founder of Fix, Financial Investment and Consultancy Services, of which Lon Theophilus is now the chairman. Take care, my brother. You know, God gave you a good paps, so cherish him until the Almighty decides to intervene. Folks, we are packed tonight. We are packed. We are packed. We are packed. We are packed tonight. Elections are to be held in this country every 5 years. Never before has it happened that the 5th anniversary of the last election has come and gone, and not even a date has been announced for the next general elections. Folks, the last general elections, for those whose memory need jogging, for those who suffer from selective amnesia, the last elections were held on June 6, 2016. 5 years expired on June 5th, 2021. So it is correct to say that this government is 5 days into its 6th year of governance. I'll say it again. Les 7 lycéens, moko ka di unconstitutional c'est hak la. Ça pas jamais fait avant qu'au siècle déjà passé existe toujours nous pour connaître date. Ça pas jamais fait avant. Pour actuellement élection te a fini la hani on l'autre gouvernement juge ouais on date. Makadi unconstitutional moko di ça. But ça makadi a gouvernement ça là a 5 jours à dit de 6e l'année. Existe toujours gouvernement pour qu'on moutoué nous that y pa we pour annoncer une date pour élection tout de suite. They have not shown us that they have the slightest of inclinations that they are desirous of going to the polls anytime soon. I will say this. Had the government done well, had the government been confident in its performance, this government would have ensured by now elections are over. But you see, I understand the skepticism. I understand the apprehension. The hacks on social media are busy trying to spread propaganda, Cambridge Analytica style. They are trying to fool the people of this country once again. They say they did a poll. I don't know if it's a greasy poll. And they're getting 54% of the votes. 54% they said they're getting. If you all are getting 54% of the votes, call the elections. But folks, I'll tell you what, the real polls recently came out. And it spoke to the United Workers' Party dismal failure as a government, which will translate into an election whipping. Oh yes, it will translate into an election. They will be decimated at the polls. And the hacks, in case you all don't know, the polls indicated that the two people that will be responsible for the loss of the United Workers' Party, Siamese twins, Alan and Guy, okay. Papa. So if you all know you all are getting 54% of the votes, call the elections. But folks, as I will show you down the line, the government has failed miserably. And so they are stretching out their time by every inch. Every inch. Look at the situation with the deputy speaker, folks. Look at that situation. For almost an entire term, Parliament has been operating without a deputy speaker. I lie? I lie? Never before in the history of this country has this happened. Never. Never. Shasne is exploiting what he perceives as loopholes in the laws of this country. That's what he's doing. Because, Mr. Technician, I'm getting some feedback in the earpiece, please. He is exploiting every loophole It's still persisting. Okay. No, it's not on now. Okay. I was saying, folks, never before in the history of this country has this happened, where we are almost, in fact, we've surpassed the term. 5 years has expired, and we don't have a deputy because a loophole in the Constitution is being exploited. Because the Constitution says, as soon as it is convenient. Yes, as soon as it is convenient. So 5 years have gone, 5 years, 5 days, and the government has still not seen it convenient to appoint a deputy speaker, thereby flouting the most supreme law of this country, the Constitution. But folks, I'll tell you what, that did not surprise me. It did not surprise me because that disregard started ever since this administration won the elections. Having won the elections on June 6, 2016, the Constitution dictates that Parliament must meet within 30 days after a general election. That's what the Constitution says. That following a general election, Parliament must meet within 30 days. Elections were on June 6, 2016. Parliament ought to have been convened for the latest by July 6, 2016. Parliament was on July 12th, some 36 days after. And I remember quite lucidly when the Prime Minister was questioned as to why he did not convene Parliament within the dictates of the Constitution. You know what Shaste responded, folks, by saying? Shaste responded by saying that there are no sanctions. There are no sanctions if that aspect of the Constitution is breached. That's what he said. So although the Constitution said that following a general election, you must have Parliament within 30 days, he breached that, had Parliament 36 days after, and then said there are no sanctions, so I can do what I want. And that is what we have as a leader. So the manifestation of an attitude to flout the laws of this country was quite clear, was quite blatant. Can you imagine, folks? Can you imagine? Had the Constitution not spell out, had the Constitution not indicate that Parliament would have been automatically dissolved, should the Prime Minister not call elections within 5 years of its sitting? Or not dissolve it? Can you imagine if although the Constitution says certain things and those provisions are flouted, I guess the Prime Minister realizes that elections would be too serious of an issue to play the fool with. But just imagine that the Constitution was silent as regards the calling of another elections. Shaste would stay in office until 2026. He would stay in office until 2026, and that is when he would have dissolved the House. He would give himself 10 years. 10 years. You all remember he wanted 3 years. Then he wanted a term. At the end of the term, he wanted 2 terms. You know, that is what we are going through in this country. And so, folks, that is why every Sunday until elections will be Pan Sunday. Tule Dimash, Tous les dimanches, juste élection, c'est Pan Sunday. Maman, c'est ici, pas oublier ça. Pas oublier ça. This Sunday is Castry Central Tune. And we are calling it Pan City. Pan City this Sunday. Let us pan them until elections. Let us pan. Let us pan. A man went with one pan that he bought at Casabella. Expensive pan. And they made an issue out of it. Detained him. Detained him for being on the government road knocking a pan. Lord, I remember when they used to come and play loud music right outside your door. Nothing was done, nothing was said. But we will pan. Every Sunday is Pan Sunday. And this Sunday is Pan City. Pan City. From the Sab to Sans Souci, Bernard Hill, my Conway crew, Georgeville Massive, New Village, La Panse, Mondido, Foligouan, Bapa, Boapatat, the slums. Everywhere. Everywhere. As a matter of fact, Compton, the pans you have in the kitchen, they give the fellas those pans, eh? Give them those pans, give them red shirts. Because we panning on Sunday, we panning. We're going everywhere. We are not going everywhere, sorry, but everywhere should engage in pan activity. Grass Street, the slums, Lastic Hill, Kelo, Doro, Kapantuza. You have to pan. I love you, Doro. Waterworks Road, the CDCs, all of the CDCs, the Jeremy Street crew, Bujo and the boys, of course, the Cauldron Brothers. You know, we are panning. We are panning. Wear your red. Stay in your balcony. Stay in your yard. Stay wherever you are within the confines of your property. Stay in your homes. Stay in your area. But let's pan. We want to observe the protocols. We don't want the loud music. We want to observe social distancing. We want to wear our masks. The statute, the state of emergency says up to 50 people can be together in a... Let's comply. Let's comply. We're not giving police any trouble. But we panning in Pan City. We are panning in Pan City on Sunday. You know, we expect during the morning it'll be a little low, but when you see we hit 3, 4, 5 o'clock, that, you know, we're in pans, pong, 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 pong. I expect Mysterio. Lord help me, I'm calling on you. Walk around and just chant a tune for me. Why is the fellas pan? Mysterio, do the same thing, my brother. Do the same thing. I want you all to walk around and sing your songs. We will be in Pan City. Let me tell you this. I have never ever been ready for an election as I am now. I am ready, and I know you are ready. I know you are. I know you are. So Castry Central, we are doing it. We are doing it. And I know Mysterio, Lord help me, and the others. I know the Bernadille fellas, those who have their pan will come out with a pan and do a little something somewhere. Mikey, down by the bar, get a pan. Isai Hall, get a pan. Okay? We panning in Pan City. Let's pan in Pan City on Sunday. Last Sunday was quite good, folks. You know, I drove around the island with my usual crew, Kayo, Dax, Kello, you were not there. And I could tell you the mood on the ground is that the people are ready. The people are fed up, folks. They are fed up at your power. I saw camaraderie all around. I spoke to and hugged both labours and flambeaus. But I must say I was disturbed by the video that came from the Mac area. But I want to show you a few clips of what I witnessed whilst I was driving around the island. Yes, folks, and your humble servant visited library. There is another clip. I visited library and I was quite pleased at what I saw. Have a look.
Yeah, look Benny.
But you can come and pack when you sing after that when test come.
Yeah.
You can pack your van there, we should go back his van in his car in the corner there.
Alright.
Benny there.
Yeah, you tell me that. Alright.
Yes, folks. It was good, and I must say the people are fed up. I took some. In fact, I saw some pictures that came out of Soufrière. I passed through Soufrière as well. Could you just show up the pics of Soufrière for me, please? The still pictures. Yes, we took some pics in Soufrière. Yes, and quite interesting. Chasney out. Papa. The people are ready, folks. The people are ready. I'm telling you, they are ready and they are willing to go I mean, you know, everywhere you pass, some persons are a little more coward than others. Persons are still afraid of victimization after 5 years. So it tells you that essentially people still believe that the dictatorship is in full effect in this country. But I could tell you, the people are charged, they are ready, they are fed up. You know, folks, I witnessed driving around the island, I witnessed people flabos hugging and talking to, shaking hands with Labour Party supporters. I saw that in Labrie, I saw that in Soufre, I saw that in Mikud. In fact, we were by Clyde. Simon Goodnight, when Simon came there for a big flabo shoot. Richard, I want a piton. I said, Clyde, give Simon a piton because, you know, we don't make politics divide us. We may have our differences, and I hold strong on my opinions, especially now when we've seen what Shasta is doing to this country. But, you know, I was rather disturbed at what happened at Mark. Folks, I'll tell you what it is. You all may have seen the video, but I'll tell you what it is. Those persons who were almost run over were former supporters of Guy Joseph. They used to support him, and they figured they cannot take it again. So they jump ship and join the bandwagon. And guess what? One of his supporters still decided it's like those people have to be run over. Have a look at this, folks. Now, folks, at the very least, this is dangerous driving. At the very least. Persons could have been seriously injured or even killed. Or even killed. A pronouncement was made to arrest Joachim for an incident that did not depict not even an iota of violence. There wasn't even the semblance of violence. And yet there was a pronouncement was made to have him arrested. But look at this. A supporter of the United Workers' Party was driving with such rage that if people were not careful, he could have killed the people on the road. He could have killed them. Folks, if this guy is not arrested and charged and his license suspended, this may just be, and it may set the tone for an extremely violent general elections. That's what it's going to do. Because people are going to see this and believe if he can do it as a United Workers' Party supporter, then I can do it too. I can do it too. And we are not accustomed to that. Mr. Commissioner of Police, please do what you have to. Persons were almost run over. And I want those persons to go to the traffic department and to make a report against that driver. My number is easily available. Make a report and please call me, tell me what the update is so I will inform St. Lucians accordingly. We cannot as a country permit that kind of behavior to continue. That must be nipped in the bud. It has to. It has to. And St. Lucians must take heed. That would be the yardstick that would measure the conduct of how election campaign ought to be conducted. Because that can set extremely dangerous precedents. And that cannot be accepted as campaign behavior. No. Kapwes chwe moun, nou hapan l'hôpital set lisi, si loun l'hôpital pan wimed, soun wimed pan dokte, nou non l'hôpital yo ban nou, o European Union a ban nou pou paye pou servi. Ou kapwes kwaze moun ami tashime pou ki sa? Pou ki sa? Non ban. If nothing is done, it will be seen that there is a subtle promoting of violence for the campaign. Okay? That needs to be nipped in the bud. Now, Shasne, you need to stop telling lies. You need to stop telling lies, Alan Michael Shasne, Prime Minister. You need to, for at least one day, experience a 24-hour of total truth. Just for one day. I know it may be difficult for you, given the pattern that you have set for yourself. But at least for one day, try and be truthful. Try and be truthful. Folks, Shasne said that they told me, he didn't say who they were, but they told me, apparently him, that for the 2016 general elections, an election had run away from Shasne almost 3 years prior, when they are coui, because depuis que Shasne mad, Shasne a détruit tout le qui oli woi, mais a détruit Flabou. The man said, and I will play the clip, that they told me unless I could have given an explanation for my visa, I could not have been a UWP candidate. Shasne, you lie too much. But before I deal with you, remind them of the clip. Play the clip.
Political leader. When Richard came, and we said, Richard, until you can tell us how you lost your visa, you can't run. Political leader. When Richard came, and we said, Richard, until you can tell us how you lost your visa, you can't run.
Man, this man is such a liar, it peeves me. It infuriates me. Shasne, when I came where? When I came where? I was in Flabo long before you. Kouteye. Where were you? When I came? When I came? Shasne, by the time you became leader, I had already won 3 elections. When I came, you had won none. When I came, You are a compulsive, pathological liar. Liar. Folks, I have never, ever, ever spoken to anyone after this man became leader of UWP about me, about visa, about running, about this. I totally disassociated myself. You liar. In fact, I have never spoken to I will show you an article in a while. When Shasta won the leadership of the United Workers' Party, it was July 28th, 2013. I had an article on July 27th on the front page of the Star 8 years ago. I have never spoken to the man after that. Never. The last time the man attempted to greet me, he saw me by the square. It was a New Year's Day. He saw me by the square and he attempted to greet me. He tapped me on my shoulder. I didn't believe him. I've never had a conversation with the man. I have never had a conversation with the man. Folks, let me just prove to you how much this man lies. Put up that front page of the Star for me. Look at the date, folks. To the top left of your screen was that Saturday, July 27th, 2013. Richard is fucking. That's July 27th, 8 years ago. I have never spoken to the man. I have never spoken to that man. How the man can say when Richard came, I was in Flubber before you, you liar. I am upset because this man is just, he lies too much. When Richard came, I came where? Where did I come, Shasne? You met me in the United Workers' Party. Papa Mate, you met me there. You met me there. You know. And folks, that newspaper was almost an entire 3 years before elections. I totally disassociated myself with those people. I have had no conversation with Shasney. I've had no Veititan. You know. And I'll tell you what, when I wrote this article, both himself and his father were mad at me. They were mad at me because of the content. Shasta, when you lie, don't lie on me because you know I know how to demati people. You should know that when Richard came. When I come. You. Oh God. When I come? When I come where? But that's right to happen to Stevenson King because I beg him. I tell him, don't lay hands on you. He laid hands on you and boom. What guy said, unless they fire you, he's not leaving the meeting or he's going to resign. Yeah. So folks, that article is 8 years ago. 3 years before the election. 3 years before the 2016 election. Shas, they say when Richard came. When Richard came where? McAvin Caillou. I don't even know where you live, Alan Shasney. You liar. I don't even know where you live. I don't know where you live. If I knew I'd come in for pan, I would buy the pan at Casabella. No, I'd probably order it from Max and Spencer's in London. Yeah? They were not happy about the content of that article, folks. They were not happy. And let me show you 2 short sentences I had written in that article why they were not happy with me. So for you to come and say, when Richard came, we told him. You lie! You and I never spoke. All the time, Guy Joseph was arranging meetings at his constituency in Bexar. Myself and Stevenson King were the only 2 y'all were not inviting. when I came? Because you know I wouldn't stand for that kind of foolishness. I know how you feel about our black St. Lucian people. So I would not stand to follow you. You cannot lead me. And you will never lead me. When I came, folks, let me show you, I'm real upset. Sorry about that. Lydia, let me apologize. I know my sister is not happy. She's never happy when I get so upset. But, Alan Shastin must stop those lies, man. He must stop these lies. Show them the two sentences I had written in that article. No, right. The first sentence, I just want to draw to your attention. And that's 8 years ago, folks. I said here in the article, folks, every step must be taken to avoid the merger of economic and political power. Those were my preachings to the St. Lucian public 8 years ago. 8 years ago. Every step must be taken to avoid the merger of political and economic power. I said that 8 years ago. We did not listen. We did not listen. And what's happening to us now? What's happening to us now? What is happening to us now? We gave them the ability to merge economic and political power. And now Michael Chasney is on TV. I'll deal with him in a bit. Telling us when to call our elections. All of a sudden, Papa Prime Minister ni pouvoir pour dire nous les élections nous supposé. That is what we look for. That is what we look for. That is what we look for. Look the other sentence I had in my article. Running a country cannot be done on a trial error basis. It must be grounded in love and concern for your people. It must be grounded in love and concern for your people and experience in leadership, both of which Alan Shasney lacks. That is what I said 8 years ago. Let me read it again. Running a country cannot be done on a trial and error basis. It must be grounded in love and concern for your people and experience in leadership, both of which Alan Shasney lacks. 8 years ago I said that. Call me a guy now. Zodvlik we me guy there cholma. Zodvlik. So they were pissed off at me. They were vexed. They were angry. They were angry. I wrote this article, folks, 8 long years ago. And my predictions are coming to pass. My predictions are coming to pass. After this man won, I never attended not even half a meeting. These days, everything people see, this, they put whole in front of it. The man take my whole child as though there's half a child. The man broke my whole arm as though there's half an arm. So I I never even went to a whole meeting if the man falls half. Falls half. And you want to come and ridicule me? I never attended a meeting. Not even when they decided to fire Stephenson King. When guys stood up in Viewfort on that unfaithful day. And he said, if Stephenson King remains the leader of the opposition, he's going to resign. And they took, the Siamese twins took the decision to fire Stephenson King. But Guy Joseph, I'll say this to you. You have done a lot to a lot of different people. But Guamuniyo Paul Kadi, même baton qui bat chien noir, c'est lui-même qui bat chien blanc. Lui-même. You all invited me to meeting after meeting. I never went to one. Not one. Oh, come to a meeting there, come to a meeting there, come to a meeting the pastoral center. Come, I never went to one meeting. You know, and you all formed the committee. You all formed the committee to fire me. You know, Shastley went on record after that and said, it is not he that fired me, it is the committee. He was in Sufra on a platform when he said the United Workers' Party should have stood behind me when I lose my visas. Today, you're opening your mouth, your lying mouth, and say, when Richard came, we ask, I don't, what is it? We ask him for an explanation. I ran an election before that in 2011 without a visa. You gogo. You know? Now you realize, Shastley, now you realize that I will be back. And I will be back to stop the flood in Castries Central. You want to cast aspersions? I will be back. I will be back. I will be back to stop the flood in Castries Central. So you and I have never spoken, at the very least, from 27th July 2013. You barely met me and touched me on my shoulder. So stop it and stop lying. I run elections without a visa in 2011. You had one. What happened to you? Huh? The people of Sufra ran after you. And what did you do? Your father engineered everything. Safe haven, Deriso. Where? Deriso. Deriso. According to Josie, with your kule wayayay. You know, you had a visa, I had none. I won, you lose. Folks, I want to say this. I want to say this quickly. And I will be back, Shastley. I will be back. Trust me. I want to say this. I did not need a visa to build Serenity Park. I did not need a visa to build the new court I built in the gardens. I did not need a visa to build a new court in New Village and another one in Grass Street. I did not need a visa to paint all the CDCs. The last time they painted, all of them painted, was under my watch. So it's well over 10 years. The awarding of the contracts and all the hurts that have made business people out of the ordinary solutions, I did not need a visa to do that. I don't need a visa to help my people. I will run away for a visa. Without a visa, I'll stay here to help them. So, I don't need a visa to use our resources to help our people. I have done it before, and I will do it again. You know, having lost my visa, I sued and it's going to be 10 years. I sued the United States and persons involved for 25 million US. Yes, I filed a lawsuit in Washington. If I had anything to hide, I would not file a lawsuit for $25 million. I engaged the services of Joe DiGenova. Check out Joe, J-O-E-D-I, Genova, J-E-N-O-V-A. You will see that he is one of Donald Trump's lawyers. Very expensive. I engaged his services. You know why? Because I wanted to confront my accusers. That is the only satisfaction I wanted. I wanted what you say behind my back, to say it in front of me and to prove it. That is what I wanted. Lo and behold, God did not give me the opportunity. The judge threw out the case on a technicality. Judge threw out the case on a technicality. It wasn't meant to be. But the Almighty knows best. He knows best. He knows best. But I will at some point down the road get another opportunity to confront my accusers. So Shastley, I don't need visa to help my people. I don't need visa. You know how they're going to judge me? They're going to judge me based on my past performance. That's how they'll judge me. That's how they'll judge me. A visa at this time is not a priority for me. What is a priority is to get you out. What is a priority for me is to get you out by opening the eyes of the average St. Lucian and for them to come to the realization that a vote for you is a vote against their interest. A vote for you means that they will be met with more financial injustices, more social injustices, and greater economic hardship. That's what you all stand for. United Wreckers of the Poor. So you have a visa, I have none, Shasti. Come Central. Come Central. Come Central, my boy. Come in the ring. Come in the ring and let's tango. Let's tango. Come in the ring. You know, you may have referred to St. Lucians as jackasses. Yes, you may have referred to them as jackasses. But I'll tell you this. The people of Castries Central know a good representative when he has represented them and when he has given a good account of himself. So they are not much of jackasses or as many as jackasses as you think they will be. Because like I said, they will judge me by my performance. So you will and come again. We're in Pan City on Sunday. Pan City. Now folks, you know, it's getting hot in here. Pajaro! Ha, Papa. You want me to take a quick break and we'll come back to Pajaro, folks? Don't go far. It's getting more interesting and exciting. Trust me, the break will not be long. I promise you.
The people need justice, and everybody needs some justice. And we got to have justice. Oh, every people need some justice. Lord, justice. Down in the ghetto we need justice. And we got to have justice. See all the people cry for justice. Yeah.
Why are you suffering from aches, pains, and illnesses? When there's help for you. At Health Service Center, we offer a wide range of treatment that has been scientifically proven to help you with your aches, pains, and illnesses. Our ICT machine is one of the most effective devices in the health field. It has shown positive results in many health problems, such as back pains, shoulder pains, migraine headaches, pain in the knees and legs, poor circulation, arthritis, diabetic neuropathy, numbness in the feet, strokes and sports injuries. ICT, repairs, rebuild, the power to heal, the future of pain relief.
Hi Jermaine, this is Francisca here. I just want to say thank you for the awesome job that you did at my mom's funeral. Emma Thomas, you all did an awesome job. I appreciate everything that you did. It was well done, well appreciated. I can't thank you enough. I think this whole video, it helped me a lot just watching it. I embrace it and it did bring joy to my heart. I wasn't sad for one moment that I watched this video, and I keep watching it over and over again. I just love and appreciate all you did. Thank you.
Nestled in the quiet northern neighborhood of Larry Twet is a housing development designed specifically for homeowners looking for that ideal location, the epitome of serenity, a retreat from the hustle and bustle of everyday living. Our homes cater to the specific needs of you, the modern homeowner: style, comfort, space, and above all, privacy. Want to experience scenic, breathtaking mountain views, postcard garden sunsets, balconies overlooking well-manicured gardens, and large yard and parking space? Visit us today.
Aging gracefully is the hope for everyone. But when you age prematurely, most people think that something is wrong with you. The natural enzymes and building blocks in your skin start to deplete, so fine or deep lines and wrinkles appear, making you look much older than you really are. At Derma Clinic, we can help repair your skin and change the way you look in minutes. These treatments will make you look younger. At Derma Clinic, we treat all kinds of skin problems, such as facial lines, dark circles around the eyes, crow's feet, and frown lines, using all-natural hyaluronic acid filler. So maintain and improve your facial appearance. For more information, call 453-6417 or 485-9818.
The people need justice, and everybody needs some justice. And we got to have justice. Oh, every people need some justice. Lord, Lord, justice. Down in the ghetto we need justice. And we got to have justice. See all the people cry for justice. Yeah.
Thanks for staying tuned, folks. I know a lot of you are concerned. You know, when you have a prime minister who lies and lies and lies incessantly, you know, and he just keeps on lying and lying and lying, I mean, it gets to you at some point. You know, it gets to you. I don't know. I just cannot take Shastney on again. I really can't. You know, the first time I saw Shastney was, you know, Lon, thanks for reminding me, was when he turned up at Spider's luncheon for the election. He was in the crowd. Today you'll see when I came in. When I came in where? I've not spoken to you, bro. Muko pali ba ou, ini a ho yutlani, muko pali ba ou, muko de ou, anye. Pa matien le mwe souple. Byron, Lance, Bassett, Tall. Papa, hey, what you cooking tonight? Hey, cook something, man. Cook something. When I come from studio, I come in upstairs, say I hope you have food there for me, all right? Errol Champion, good night to you. Your children, Jermaine and Tara, have asked me to say, to extend birthday greetings to you. They love you very, very much. I got a call from New York, Bernie Samedi. Good night to you, Bernie. I know you're very concerned about me and you love me. Good night, good night. Don McDonald, Lucy, good night to you. Good night to June Filgers. Fado, New York, good night to you. Good night to all the people in New York. Pages, what's up with you? You good? Miss King? Elisha, good night to you. Good night, good night, good night. So yeah, Fano, and those in Tapcott Street, Danny and Petra and all the others. Caesar TX801, good night to you. Hayden Thomas, I know you're locked on. Tandy Flood, yes, you are locked on and you keep in tabs, my brother. Pinky Pin, good night. Rossi Cow, good night. Folks, more interesting, more corruption. More interesting, more corruption. You know, when you think it is all over, when you believe, or when they think they have swept everything under the carpet, boom, something resurfaces. You all remember the famous Pajaro letter, folks? The letter that Guy Joseph signed, and then he come and give some kind of excuse. He didn't say whether he signed or he did not sign, but he never admitted he signed it. And the letter was given to Pajaro to go out there and attempt to secure some $62 million US. Which is about 160 something million EC. Yes. And guy never admitted. You all remember the letter? I have a copy. It's kind of faded, but let's see if we could read it to the viewers, Mr. Technician. Right. To whom it may concern, please be informed that the government of St. Lucia is currently engaged in discussions with Pajaro Limited and associates about funding the street lighting project and St. Jude in St. Lucia. Upon completion of the proof of funding, I'm not sure what that word is, it's a distance away, but essentially the government of St. Lucia has agreed to enter into a contractual agreement with Pajaro. The government is also committed to repaying the loan of $62 million US at 3.59% interest over a 15-year period. And we see the signature, could you scroll down please? We see the signature of Guy Joseph under it. Honorable Guy Joseph, Minister. Okay? We saw that letter. Okay. You can take it out. When we saw that letter, folks, a lot was said about the letter, and persons were saying, if a guy was asked about the letter many times, and he never clearly admitted that he had written the letter. He gave Rick Wayne a cock and bull story. It's my signature, it's circulating in the media, it's this, it's that. Even Andre Paul spoke on the seriousness of this letter when he was squeezing Alan Shastney, the Prime Minister. Take a listen to Andre Paul, folks.
Alleged letter of comfort, which according to the minister, Mr. Joseph, he says it's a letter circulating in the media. I'm just, quoting him. And he seems to be brushing aside the fact that this is a serious matter for a couple of reasons. It commits the government, your government, to over $162 million. Also, there's a signature on that letter. And if that is the minister's signature, and if he didn't sign it, that means we're talking about forgery and so on. So it's a very, very serious matter. And I've heard the minister, and he's, in my opinion, basically, not, committing himself one way or the other to say whether this is genuine or not. So, as the Prime Minister, what do you have to say on this matter? Would you like to clear the air? Because in our opinion, in my opinion, I think Mr. Joseph has not really cleared the air on this particular issue, which is very, very serious.
Okay. So even Andre Paul is saying that guy, Shastney's response was more cock and bull, so it's not worthy of television time at this point. Even Andre Paul recognized the seriousness of this letter. He recognized it, and he said that Guy, up to today, has not admitted one way or the other. Guy simply said that the letter is circulating in the media. Now, Andre Paul is right. Guy never admitted. Because on Rick Wayne, he said he saw the letter bearing his signature, and he went on to explain how easy it is to get someone's signature on a document through the computer. He went on to explain, he went at lengths to explain that. Well, folks, I can tell you, Guy Joseph lied through his teeth. He lied. The truth is, Pajaro used the letter, took the letter to a source in Trinidad, and attempted to raise the 62 million US. Yes, I lie. Magamati? No, me bashasni, no. No, Magamati. Pajaro would give the letter to someone, you all will see, to approach the bank, to approach the bank for $62 million on behalf of the St. Lucian government. Let us show the letter Pajaro wrote to the Trinidadian agent. Good. Mr. Hazley Wong, Trinidad. You see, hold on. Pajaro's Limited. Mr. Maximus, what's his name? Maximilius Juarez. Okay. Telephone number. Dear Mr. Wong, kindly use this letter as confirmation from Pajaro's Limited in appointing you as our resource representative to source funding for the government of St. Lucia, yes, you heard right, to source funding for the government of St. Lucia for the following projects costing 62 million United States dollars. 1, St. Jude Hospital, and 2, street lighting. We take this opportunity to thank you for your assistance and wish you every success in your future endeavors. Signed, Maximilius Juarez. So Pajaro, folks, is using the same letter that Guy said was circulated in the media and attempted to disassociate himself with. Pajaro is using it to try and get the $62 million. Metansa, when the bank responded to the request for the $62 million by Pajaro, rather than responding to Pajaro, guess who they responded to directly? No, not me. My name is not Guy Joseph. The bank responded directly to Guy Joseph. The same Guy Joseph who said he saw the letter circulated in the media. I lie? Let me show you the response from the bank that was emailed to Guy Joseph. It was sent from Answer Merchant Bank of Trinidad and Tobago to no other than the Honorable Guy Joseph. Put the bank's email response to Guy Joseph for me, please. Answer Merchant Bank. The Honorable February last year, the Honorable Guy Joseph, the same Guy Joseph who said he saw the letter circulated in the media. The Honorable Guy Joseph, Minister for Economic Development, Housing, Urban Renewal, Transport and Civil Aviation, Finance Administrative Center, Point Seraphin Castries. Dear Honorable Minister Joseph, Pajaro's Limited. Oui, mama. The same Pajaro letter Guy did not know anything about. Answer Merchant Bank Limited is pleased to confirm its ability and willingness to assist our client, Pajaro Limited, with financing to meet its funding needs associated with the LED street lighting project in St. Lucia. Whoa, yo. We confirm that we are currently undergoing the evaluation process, which is at an advanced stage with a due view to providing a risk-approved financing offer. Please note that this letter does not constitute a binding offer of financing, and it is issued in the strictest of confidence. Pale Richard Frederick Oliwa. Trigger of confidence, Egmo Viva. For discussion purposes only. A binding commitment to provide financing is subject to the completion of negotiations regarding the terms and conditions of the financing package as well as the due diligence on the project. Please do not hesitate to contact the undersigned. Gregory Hill, Managing Director of Answer Merchant Bank Limited, written directly to Guy Joseph. But first, when you want to talk about bombshell, come and visit me. Directly to Guy Joseph. I now want to hear the excuses. Because he answered neither here nor there. He saw it circulated in the media. And Pajaro has a letter appointing a third party to source money on behalf of the government of this country. And the bank writes directly to Guy Joseph. Folks, I'm awaiting the rebuttal on this one. I am awaiting the rebuttal on this one. I await the rebuttal. How on earth, without parliamentary approval, can Pajaro be given authority to source funding on behalf of the government and people of this country? How can Pajaro appoint a third party to be there? What they said, the resource representative. The resource representative to source funding. What exactly is going on in this country, folks? When will this institutionalized corruption come to an end? When? When will it come to an end? And folks, these are the reasons why the level of corruption in this country has been the highest it has ever been in the history of this country. I'll show it to you all again. I showed it once. I will show it to you all again. I'll show it to you all again. Because on Monday, folks, I happened to be listening to Newspin. Off and on, I listen to Tim. And I heard one of his callers called in, obviously a Flabo supporter. And she said that Shasney needs another tomb because all the borrowing Kenny Anthony was doing, he didn't do it. And the kind of corruption, hey, used to have, we don't have it. I had to call Timothy and ask him whether this lady lives under a rock or whether she lives at the North Pole. You see, you can support your party. There's nothing wrong in supporting a party of your choice. But you cannot compromise facts. Facts are facts. This government has failed us, folks. They have failed us tremendously. And they have failed us in almost every area that ought to resonate on the minds of voters as they enter that polling station. They failed us in crime. Shasney said that this was the most important issue to be kept on the voters' minds. This government ranks first and second in just one term, and have presided over the most homicides in one term. They failed us. Agriculture, they failed us. They promised us bananas to Martinique, bananas to France. We'll increase the tonnage from 8,000 tons to 50,000 tons. We will get much more money. Juste toujours. So living for agriculture, they have failed us. They promise us ching-ching in our pockets. As a matter of fact, folks, Shasney has given ching-ching so many different meanings. So many different meanings. Before election, ching ching was money. After you won, ching ching is your card in your pocket for empowerment. Then recently, ching ching is water tanks because you don't have to buy water. You know, folks, Rihanna did such a nice piece on that one that it would be remiss of me if I did not share it with you. Sit back and listen to the story.
5 years of United Workers' Party rule elapsed on June 6, 2021. The party's convincing 11-6 election victory has been attributed to their catchy "Five to Stay Alive" mantra and other ambitious campaign promises set out in their winning manifesto of 2016. On June 6, the UWP's campaign catchphrases and manifesto objectives were front and center of a nationally televised public address to mark the 5th anniversary of their election victory.
Our plans were clearly stipulated in our manifesto for the 2016 elections. We promised you that we would be building a prosperous and progressive St. Lucia. The idea was not to build a better St. Lucia, but to build a new St. Lucia. Because if the road has potholes and you've patched it, even though it's bumpy, the road is better. But if you build a new road, then you're on track to building a new St. Lucia.
Time. UWP political leader Alan Chasney has asked the electorate for more of it. A total of 2 terms, or the equivalent of 10 years in office, to accomplish his campaign promises.
We also understood that there was no way that you could deliver in 1 term everything that we had to do. And we made it very clear from the beginning that at minimum we needed 10 years to solidify the changes that were required in St. Lucia.
In previous public statements from the Prime Minister, he proposed a 3-year timeline. First, in 2017.
I'm not complaining. We're going to get all those things fixed. But it's going to take me, and I've said this from the get-go, it takes 3 years.
And again, almost 3 years later, in 2020.
Recall that on assuming office in 2016, and on other occasions thereafter, I indicated that our government would need about 3 years before we'd really start seeing tangible results. Our task was not easy.
We had a saying, or I had a saying, ching, ching, ching.
Also revisited and reimagined, the Prime Minister's famous ching, ching, ching catchphrase, first espoused in the run-up to the 2016 polls.
Every single St. Lucian must have their own card, ching, 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 in their pocket. That's what the ching, ching, ching is. The ching, ching, ching is not money. The ching, ching, ching is your empowerment.
Fast forward to 2021, ching, ching, ching has apparently taken yet another definition.
Now that Ezekiel has made water available in the 2 deaneries, we're now making water available in Vieux Fort and Labrie, in my own constituency, in Mico. The expansion of the water system up north. What does that mean, and how does that relate to ching, ching, ching? Persons no longer had to buy water tanks. That's cost savings. Persons didn't have to pay for a water truck during the drought because they have water available. That's ching, ching, ching.
The rhetoric from the Flubbo Forum was generally partisan, with occasional jabs thrown at the Labour Party, mixed in with touting their 5 to Stay Alive achievements and advancements with other capital projects. The COVID-19 pandemic and the accompanying fiscal fallout, according to Guy Joseph, has, however, impeded the UWP's progress.
I can tell you, had it not been for COVID, we would have surpassed the benchmarks that we gave ourselves. If there's anything you can hold us accountable to, is that we are delivering on what we promised. And so, in moving forward, in building a new St. Lucia, we have now established the foundation.
For Southern St. Lucians hoping to get an update on the status of the long-delayed St. Jude Hospital reconstruction project, Flubbo Forum fell short on answers. The high-value panel, however, expressed confidence their performance the last 5 years will help galvanize the support needed to secure a so far elusive second term in office. Rihani Isidore, NBC Prime.
An elusive second term in office, losing, and they wouldn't get a term again. No. Let me say good night to Secure Bapatat. Good night to you. Leroy in Texas. I understood you're locked on. Chris Bailey in Viewfort. Miller in Viewfort. Bobby, Uptown Liquor Store. Viewfort. Bryce Eaton Shabatis, Viewfort. Alvin Kanai in St. Croix. Good night to you, my brother. Good night to the man himself, Marius Morris. Folks, I was just instructed that this Indian man who is wanted all over the place for this $2 billion bank fraud, the one they say who left Antigua and went over to Dominica on a St. Lucian vessel, leave that alone here for now. But it is that same kind of arrangement that is why he is now wanted in India. Mehul, what's his name? Choksi, whatever his name is. He's wanted in India for a $2 billion bank fraud under that same kind of method that was used. And you know what, folks? Just like the airport that the United Workers' Party cancelled because they couldn't touch money, just like St. Jude, they went to borrow another $100 million because they wanted to touch money. Just like the Northeast Link Road, that they went to the Kuwaiti government to ask them to redo the method. They cancelled it because they didn't get through. The Labour Party had already secured a $9 million loan from the CDB for street lighting. The Labour Party had already secured that loan. But no, they cancelled it because you know what? They need more money and friends have to be involved. So that is what we are doing now, folks. Chantal Pascal Bass, good night to you. That is what we are doing now. So they cancelled the loan. The airport loan, the airport arrangement, they cancel it. St. Jude arrangement, they cancel it. Northeast Link Road, they cancel it. CDB loan for the lighting, they cancel it. Because with all of them, or rather none of them, would have permitted the political directorate to put their hands in the kitty. You know? Sad. So yes, folks, I was saying that those guys have failed us in almost every regard that resonates or ought to resonate on the mind of voters. Crime, agriculture, ching-ching, healthcare, came in, got OKEU, ready to go, hand it over to foreigners, a gift by the European Union. And in a kind of hypocritical way, I have to say thanks to COVID. Because had it not been for COVID, OKU patikai uve. Then St. Jude, they demolished 2 of the buildings and they started a square something that will not finish in a hurry. They came in, met patients in the stadium, will leave and leave patients in the stadium. And borrowed almost $100 million to build a box. You know what I don't understand? And the excuses, I remember one of the hacks stretching a hand across a door. A stadium that was built for sporting purposes can be used as a makeshift hospital for so many years. But a building built as a hospital was not fit for a hospital. And you all want people to believe that. But Guy Joseph was one who said, Shasta said, crime is the most important thing. Guy Joseph said, if they don't finish St. Jude, do not vote for them. Pamakiri, Guy Kiri. So they have failed us in all those regards. Then they have failed us in relation to borrowing. This administration has borrowed the most money ever in the history of this country in one term. We are owing the most money now in the OECS. Looking pretty debt. And the one that is second to us, I think, is Antigua. They are still $350 million less than us. So we are in trouble. And folks, this did not happen just so. This kind of statistic is directly contingent on the bad financial decisions driven by the Minister of Finance. Go and acquire hotel, compulsory acquisition, 100 and something millionaire. Lockerbie, how many millionaire? Ernst & Young, how many millionaire? Pubandu, how many million? DSH. And the list goes on and on. So from a standpoint of financial management, the government has again failed us badly. When Shasne took over as Prime Minister of this country, he was handed over an economy that was doing the best in the OECS. Shasne was handed an economy that was doing the best in the OECS. Today we are the worst. I didn't say it, Hacks. Pamakidi, I'm not the ECCB. I don't write for them. And I'm no expert on economic issues or affairs. Our economy is the worst in the OECS now. So they have failed us there again. When they came in, there was STEP, there was NICE, and there were other social programs meant to assist the poor and vulnerable. The distress fund was there. Shasta took it out and tell people go and get insurance for your plywood houses. All of those programs are now something of the past. So they have failed the poorer people of this country. When it comes to financial management and nepotism, some people say it's not nepotism, it's corruption. I'll leave it within the sphere of nepotism for now. I mean, it is unbelievable. The Prime Minister came in and our annual rent, folks, when this man came in, our annual rent was $38.1 million a year. That's what we spent as a government. Even then, Michael Shasne was urging Kenny not to engage in so many property rentals. He was urging Kenny not to do that when it was only at 38.1. Within one term, a government led by his son has brought it up to 72.1 million, almost doubling it in one term. But guess what? Michael Shasne will take Mumu tablets because government has rented 6 offices from him in one term. In one term. So our rental expense is now at $72.1 million. They have failed us. Folks, there is corruption everywhere. It is something that you can minimize it, but you cannot eradicate it. Our level of corruption in this country had been stagnant for about 13 years or thereabout. For 14 years, almost level. From 2016, our corruption started spiraling upward And under this administration, corruption has been the highest it has ever been in this country. Could you put up that chart for me, please? And then I heard this woman say she's not hearing about corruption. Development of corruption in St. Lucia, 2007 to 2020. This is a 14-year period, folks. We can see between 2007 and 2014, 2007, 32, 2008, 39, 30, 30, 29, 29, 29. This was barely, it was a little high, 1 point higher in 2007 at 32. But it leveled 29, 30, 29, 30, 29, 30. From 2016, it jumped to 40. From 2016, it jumped to 40. 2017, a little higher, 45. 2018, 45. 2019, 45. 2020 went down by 1 percentage point, 44. So look at the last 4 years, look at the last 5 years in this country in relation to corruption. Corruption has never been as high as it is now. Never. Never. So yet again, they have failed us. And we can safely say that based on those statistics, that this government is the most corrupt government we have ever had in the history of this country. This government has been the most corrupt government we have ever had in the history of this country. And that is why, folks, that is why we need to send them packing. We have to send them home. You know, and rather than sending us forward, the guys are taking us backward. Most corrupt, fail us in agriculture, fail us here, fail us there, worst economy, most debt, everything negative. And then on top of that, the few little things that we have, the demolition. You know, today I met a police officer who was attached to the band. And he said, guys, Richard, I listened to your show. And not today I want people to talk about that, you know. Not today I want people to talk about that. Because we're there now, we don't have a place to practice. We go under this one's house, we go under that one's house, we go to that one's, you know. The guys had a place. The police band in this country had a home. I've always said there is nothing wrong with demolition. But demolition is a stage, is a preparatory stage for building. It's over a year. Way over a year. And the guys are on the streets. They turn COVID wardens overnight. Band boys. Demolish the building. Why did they demolish the building? I don't know. Demolish custody suites. On Monday or Tuesday, I listened to the Deputy Commissioner, Wayne Shallery. Wayne Shallery, that he said on news that this was one of the best facilities they ever had. Now, Wayne Shallery, you may not know, I built it, so it must be good. Take a listen to the Deputy Commissioner of Police, folks.
The custody suites holding facility was one of the best that we've ever had. And we are hoping and praying that we have such a facility back with us as soon as possible. The custody suites holding facility was one of the best that we've ever had. And we are hoping and praying that we have such a facility back with us as soon as possible.
You all hear this, folks? We had a building. We had a building recently constructed one of the best holding facilities in the Caribbean. Shaste and crew demolish it for no reason. Over a year ago, there is nowhere to put prisoners now. Right now, they have to attempt to put prisoners at Castries City Council, and they're escaping. They're escaping from everywhere. And today, in the face of that demolition by the government, for no just cause, a deputy commissioner has to be saying that they are hoping and praying. That's what he said. They are hoping and praying that another one will be built pretty soon. You know? Isn't that pure? Hacks, what do y'all say about that? Tell me. The octogenarians, what y'all say about that? We had our facility. Shaste demolished it. And today, the deputy commissioner has to be saying that he hopes and prays another one is built. And you tell me we want that kind of state of governance to continue. By the way, Philip JP, you were very good. I'll deal with the things you said in another show. But one of the things I like, the removal of property taxes. And you have to examine as well the not only property taxes, income taxes. Find a more innovative way to collect the revenue. But that thing about property tax and income tax, they are not equitably distributed. But bravo so far. The Labour Party has promised the removal of property taxes. I'm pleased to hear that. Very, very pleased. But you know, folks, like I was saying, we have a facility. You all go and mash it up for no reason. And now the deputy has to hope and pray. So government now has to find money to go back and build it. You know. What the song said again, they face in front but the eyes in the backside. I think it's the brains that are in the backside. We are going backward. Backward. Now, folks, where's Lockerbie? Where's Lockerbie? I want to know where Lockerbie is. Where is Lockerbie? I want to know where Lockerbie is. Because, you know, Lockerbie was given, what, 32 million to tell us where to plant grass. I'm not talking about Lockerbie now. What about Hudson Young? Those are all preparing the budget and they left. They left because they figured the country is now broke. After they collect for 4 years, they're gone. Where are they? Where's Jack Lamb, Mr. Prime Minister? Jack Lamb. Remember when you were launching the DSH project, Jack Lamb was there and you introduced him in extremely glorifying terms, just like you did to Theo Aking in our parliament, our most august chamber, that he will deliver Southern Hope. Where's the Southern Hope? I think he'll deliver Golden Hope. Where's the Southern Hope? Where's Jack Lamb? And you know, whilst the Prime Minister was introducing Jack Lamb as a partner to Theo Aking in the DSH deal, Interpol, International Police, looking for Jack Lamb. Go Jack Lamb, yeah, I have not seen him here again. You know? I don't know where he is now. He's probably somewhere in the world in a jail. In a jail. And where's it? Where's Theo Aking? Where's the man that came to deliver Southern Hope? Where is he? I don't understand. Where have they gone? Where are they? Robbie, sing the track. Where are they now? No, it's not Robbie that sung that. It's, tell me his name. Where are they now? My partner on the radio station, TC Brown. TC Brown, oh, if I could forget your name, man. Oh, Lord, what I like so much. Sorry, bro, sorry. So where are they now? T.O.R. King, Loco B, Instant Young, Permandu. Where's Permandu? Cuthbert Didier, where's Permandu? They came to you to get your Cuthbert did a study of the marina. Permandu is doing something for the government. They charge the government 13 million, but they want to copy and paste Cuthbert DJ's work and put it in and charge government. Wow. Boy. And wait. You all remember when Shasta signed the DSH agreement, the hacks, $2.6 billion US deal, over $7 billion deal in Viewfort, DSH. Mr. Prime Minister, where is that $2.6 billion deal? Where is the $2.6 billion deal? Where is it? Where is it? It was meant to be an investment, but it was more like an outvestment. You know, and sometimes, folks, you listen to those things. You listen to those things, and you realize that we have been taken for a ride. We have been taken for a ride. But it really infuriates me when persons are disingenuous, bordering on being deceitful on the altar of loyalty to a party. I have a problem with that. I have a problem with y'all wanting to twist the truth to facilitate the political stance that you are desirous of taking. I have a problem with that. The truth is the truth. Last Tuesday, folks, it was widely circulated that, folks, I don't even want to go for a break, but I need some water. Shane, last Tuesday, it was widely circulated that the Bowtie Man will reveal, or he will have a bombshell. Bombshell. I mean, I don't listen to him, but I read on social media that there will be a bombshell. To put it, as Velan John put it so appropriately, in a rather eloquent piece that he wrote. Velan John, I hardly see him writing anything, but when he takes his time to write about something, it is something that bothered him. And Velan John described in that speech that Bowtie Man's bombshell was more like an empty shell. Shell alone. An empty shell, no bomb. Now you know, folks, when flabbo hacks, the little ones, the flabbo hacks of negligible intelligence, like Ian Cauldron, when they make a big deal of that, you know, you kind of dismiss. You kind of dismiss this. But the bombshell essentially was a letter which was apparently signed by Philip J. Pierre, the incoming Prime Minister to be, when he was acting Prime Minister. So if Ian Cauldron makes a big issue out of that, you understand. But, folks, I must say, I was really and truly surprised, even disappointed by Thurl Prudent. I was. I was taken aback. I was. And I'll say this. had this DSH project been successful, the flabbers would have claimed it. The hacks would have claimed it. But you know, it is a dismal failure. Horses came in air-conditioned, on air-conditioned chartered flights. They left by boat. Dismal failure. They now want to turn around and to blame the Labour administration. Folks, Tioa King approached the Labour government before he approached Alan Shastney. And Philip J. Pierre was then acting Prime Minister. Quite rightly, a letter was written to him, commonly referred to as a letter of comfort, expressing interest in the venture as an investor. Let me show you the letter that was written, that was signed, written and signed by Philip J. Pierre, addressed to Tioa King. September 4th, 2015. That is, folks, about 9 months before the elections of 2016. And it was addressed to Mr. Tioa King. Could you scroll down for me, please? It says, "Dear sir, the government of St. Lucia is pleased that your company, Desert Star Holdings Limited, is well advanced in its plans to invest." If that's what you thought at the time, invest, you know, it's outvest. To invest in an international horse racing track and support services, tourism and residential accommodation, commercial entertainment facilities at Beausejour View Fort St. Lucia. I wish to assure you that every effort consistent with the laws of St. Lucia, very good, very good, very good, consistent with the laws of St. Lucia. One needs to ask Shastney whether he knows what that means. Shall be made to facilitate these investments and ensure their commencement at the earliest possible time. The government of St. Lucia looks forward to further developing a relationship with DSH, and will be prepared to sign a memorandum of understanding outlining our respective responsibilities in such endeavors. We thank you for your interest in St. Lucia. That is what was written, signed Philip J. Pierre, acting Prime Minister. You know, folks, like I said, if that were, and that was the bombshell, that was the bombshell. That was what Velanjon called an empty shell. If Ian Cauldron posts this, and he calls it a bombshell, and he makes all sorts of accusations, given the mediocrity of his intelligence, it may pass. But when you have a man who was the political leader of an organization posting this as though it was the Labour Party who brought Tioa King here and gave him 1,000 acres of land at $1 an acre, gave him passports to sell and all the other perks, you know, it is disingenuous. The letter clearly and rightly refers to operating within the laws of this country. Shastney don't know what that means. It went on to say, looking forward to developing a relationship with you. Folks, when Tioa King came here, what did the Labour Party do? In fact, I had a conversation with Kenny Anthony on that. They formed a committee with expertise in various fields to advise the government. And that's what good governance dictates. Get your technocrats involved in the decision-making process and let them advise you. So the Labour Party did the right thing. Having advised the government, Kenny Anthony refused to sign. He refused to sign the letter. He refused to sign any agreement because the form that it was in, it was not in the interest of this country. Fast forward, 9 months later, Shastri won the elections. A few weeks after winning the elections, Shastri signed. The agreement was so against the interests of St. Lucia, so badly against our interests, that Bradley, who was a co-signatory with Shastri, Bradley, who signed the agreement, obviously without reading it, said that had he known the agreement was so one-sided, he would not have signed. Bradley said so. So it is clear Bradley did not read the agreement. It is also clear that those guys never sought or heeded any kind of legal advice that was given. After all of that is done, Prudent will post this as though the Labour Party had done something wrong. Prudent, I must tell you, I'm surprised. And this forced me to revisit some of your posts. Because we must remember, we need to speak, we need to always address our minds to the truth. Because you know what? There'll be documents, there'll be tips, there'll be clippings, there'll be this, there'll be that, to refute what we see when we lie, if we lie. I saw 2 other tales on social media by Prudent in relation to Kenson. And when I saw that, I said, wait. Did that really happen? Let me read the 2 posts I saw by Prudent first. Could you put up the first one, please? Mr. Technician. He says here, René T. Prudent, meltdown, democracy in peril. The foolish campaign of a desperate political novice. We are really getting to them and they're finally getting scared. Just listen to this well, folks. Listen to this well. Just moments ago, Kenson and a handful of his hacks walked down a dead-end street leading to my home. Hear this well, you know. Leading to my home to harass my sick mother, my wife, and I. Kenson and his hacks walked down the street to harass Prudent's sick mother, to harass Prudent's wife, and to harass Prudent. Okay? And he went on to say, when he noticed that I refused to cower to his nonsense, he pulled out his camera and started to video me. Put up the other one. And this is the pic. Scroll down, let them see the pic he posted under this. Right. Could you? Yes. Okay. This is what he posted, the pic. Now, put on the other post for me, please. Good. Look the other one. The abuse of the elderly in plain view. What a fine example for our youth. Mamai Flabo, it's time to raise your flags. Raise your flags and ranks and show courage in the face of shameful behavior. Kenson Kazime outside my mom home on a dead street, disturbing my sick mother inside. So in one of the posts with the same pictures, he says Kenson is disturbing his sick mother inside. And on the other one, he says Kenson and his supporters walked down the street to harass his sick mother, himself, and his wife. Folks, I will now show you a video of what happened. And you will realize that those persons were there before, long before Prudent came. He drove past them. He waved a yellow flag to them, uttered some words, and then he will post that and say, Kenson came to harass his mother, his wife, and him. Show that video for me, please.
Yes, Terrell passing, backing passing, because they see red outside in Grozilet. They have to pass. Terrell say we cannot fit in his shoes. Terrell say we cannot fit in his shoes. Yes, he said it. I don't know if y'all got it. Yeah. And watch Terrell White, Terrell White, Terrell White. Yeah.
Make them come. Make them look like clowns. Make them look like clowns. That was the United Workers' Party. Make them look like clowns. You understand? This is the United Workers' Party.
Terrell White is right there. It's Terrell doing videos. Because we're outside here too.
Folks, you see what went on? This is the man who said Kenson and his hacks came down a one-way street or a dead-end street, disturbing his sick mother. He went on to say in another post that the people came to harass his mother, his wife, and himself. You know, not realizing that the story can be fully told. You know, and these are blatant lies. The people were doing their thing when Prudent drove past, as we saw, waving his yellow shirt. Waving his yellow shirt. But Prudent, it appears you have a problem with blaming people. I don't know, because 5 years ago, that same Prudent accused Spider of coming to his constituency office and causing disturbance. Take a listen to this.
Us yesterday, and the only unfortunate incident was with Leonard Montoute. For yet a second elections, he did his best to ensure that I would not have that right to be able to conduct my closing meeting outside of my headquarters. I believe that this kind of political thuggery, which is what he is doing, must come to an end. You cannot have someone who wants to represent people in the community, wants to vie for office in this community, and yet still has no respect for others who are vying for office. And last night, by actually coming to the doorsteps of my office, ensuring that we would not be able to conduct our meeting, shows how small-minded he is, how narrow he is in his thinking, and I think St. Lucians should worry a lot about electing or having persons like that serving government.
What do you accuse Spider of political thuggery? And Spider attempted to stop his meeting. So folks, that just tells you that you never listen to what one says. You don't read what they write and just believe it. You need to verify things for yourself. You must always remember that. You know, that is why personally I can never be so easily fooled. When you call me and you say something to me, send me the evidence. Every time the Prime Minister opens his mouth, he attempts to fool us. Every time. Yet, Shaste had the audacity to talk about empty promises. Empty promises. Next week, God willing, I want to go down memory lane with Shaste. From the time he was a minister, the 13 hotels, up to now, the 23 islands, the this, the that. I will be going down that road with him, the promises that he has made. And 99.9% of them have not been kept. I will not be able to deal with all on one show, but I will certainly deal with the most salient ones. But I'm sure you all will remember when Shaste won the elections, the first thing he said in Mikud, nobody asked him to say it. Nobody asked him to lie to us. He said that the price of fuel is going up everywhere, but it will be going down in St. Lucia because there is a document on his desk for signature. And once he signs it, fuel prices will go down. This man is a pathetic liar. Folks, the price of fuel has never, ever been lower under this current administration than under the last administration. Never. Never. In that regard, I saw a piece written where Jedia Japierre, Jedia, good night to you, made the comparisons, which I verified. I verified with the releases from the Labour Party and the United Workers' Party. And those comparisons will show you that not even when the prices of fuel were like $1 a barrel, because in the peak of COVID, crude oil prices were like a whole ship of crude oil for $1,000. That is how cheap it was. Yet, prices on the pump have never been lower. Let me give JD's post a read quickly. Okay, fuel prices June 16 versus fuel prices June 2021. Gasoline was $10.59, now $13.93. Diesel was $9.08, now $12.85. Kerosene was $5.40, now $7. 20-pound cylinder was $24.63, now $31.33. 22-pound, $27.38, now $34.46. 100-pound, $163.08, now $208.13. The first time Alan Charles ever walked the streets of Castries in his life was to protest the price of fuel in St. Lucia. He said Kenny Anthony had a hidden tax. Shaste said that he had documents waiting immediately to reduce the price of fuel in St. Lucia. Under Shaste's leadership, the price of fuel has never been lower. Instead, you are paying $3.34 more for gasoline, $3.77 more for diesel, $1.60 more for kerosene, $6.70 more for a 20-pound cylinder, $7.08 more for a 22-pound cylinder, and $45.05 more for a 100-pound cylinder. Up to now, he cannot find the so-called hidden tax because there was never one. Up to now, he has not reduced the price of gasoline as fuel. Instead, he added a new gas tax. Look out for the new round of promises by him. But remember all the empty ones and lies he fed you in 2016. Kenny can't, but I will, right? Very good. Very good. Very good. So, folks, we have to be careful. We have to be careful. We must be careful. Now, you know, as I showed you, I wasn't the one who compiled the statistical data, but it is safe to say that corruption has reached an unprecedented level in this country. It's a fact. Conflict of interest has taken a totally new dimension. It's a fact. Michael Shastri is the father of the Prime Minister. The very Michael Shastri who seemingly, as a patriotic solution, was urging Kenny to desist from renting so many properties, is now benefiting from the number of government offices occupied in his properties. 6 different offices, including the traffic department, the Vatican traffic department. Michael Shastne's slice of the cake is so big that he cannot fathom losing any little bit of it. He can't deal with that. So he comes on TV and radio. He reads a prepared script in an attempt at justifying why his son should go to the polls all the way in October. Folks, as I said earlier, today is the 5th day into the 6th year of governance by the United Workers' Party of a 5-year term. We must bring this to an end, one way or the other. But the father of the Prime Minister, as I said, from a prepared script, will try to justify why we should go to the polls all the way in October. When Kenny Anthony told y'all St. Lucians that the 2016 elections was not between Labour and Flabo, y'all took it lightly. Y'all did not understand. Kenny said that the 2016 elections would have been between the Shastneys and St. Lucia. That is so true. That is so true. Now, 5 days after the 5th anniversary of the last elections, up to now we cannot get a date. Can't get a date. And I don't know who gave Michael Shastney the mandate to come on our TV and to advise as to when elections should be. So they were there, like 3 musketeers. Josie's a posterior kisser for whom I've lost every ounce of respect and regard. Himself, the Prime Minister's father, and Champagne. Champagne is yes sir, yes sir, yes sir. So the 3 musketeers were there, whilst the father read, and together they made a mockery of the National Trust. A mockery of the National Trust, an organization formed or founded by the late Sir John himself. They've made fun implicitly, or they made fun of her without calling her name, of Janine Compton, because Janine indicated that she had said previously that the students can be taught about artifacts. And they made fun of her. They made fun of her. Champagne will say, go and look for artifacts in Deriso and other places and Soisel. That is the level of ignorance that permeates every sector of our society, sadly. So while Shastri reads a script to tell us when his elections, they will turn around and make a mockery of the National Trust and just trivialize the artifacts issue while speaking fun of Janine Compton. Take a listen to them.
Are constitutionally due no later than October 12, 2021.
Whether the Prime Minister calls the elections now or in October, what is the big deal? By October 2021, the tourism project would have returned to near normal, and 14,000 tourism employees would have returned to their jobs, and the economy, by extension, would be one small vibrant. Is that the concern of the St. Lucia Labour Party? 50 days from today, the Rodney Bay Road project should be officially opened. The old Dyer Mall is well on the way. The Millennium Highway will be in full swing next week. The Grace Treatment Plant will be officially opened, and the Wasco headquarters in the south will be completed.
So Michael, who proudly displayed photos of the construction of key projects, took issue with the resistance to the government's pro-growth agenda. The co-hosts of the Let's Talk Now program characterized critics as obstructionists they believe are standing in the way of infrastructural development. The National Trust, which announced the discovery of new artifacts near the disputed Cabot project site at Casabar, were also taken to task.
You know, Sir Michael, the guy, the National Trust, they came out, they said they have found new artifacts.
Yeah.
And some guy told me it was a chicken bone, you know, a guy went up there. A guy told me somebody went up there with a girlfriend.
I listened to one of the senior officers on the air talking. Here's what the lady said.
Yeah.
Now that they found that there, they need to build a place and have people from the Sir Arthur Lewis come and have classes there so they can further educate themselves. Educate themselves for what?
So they can frustrate the development. That's what they really want.
Let me ask another question. It is known that there were Carib settlement down in Choiseul and Labrie.
Right.
So the National Trust
or even where Dr. Anthony was giving all that land to Marseille and
that's right. Yeah. So the National Trust is not interested in those areas of St. Lucia to try to find artifacts. No, seriously, because there are no ongoing developments. It is known, history has it, that in Choiseul, Labrie and those areas, there were Carib descendants there, settlers. So why don't they go down there and try to find something?
Folks, you know, Sir John must be turning in his grave. Must be turning in his grave. So the Father will come and tell us this will finish in how many days, that will finish in how many days. Since when a Prime Minister's father is so involved in the governance of this country that even he can give you stipulated time frames within which things have to be done. Folks, sadly, we are in a mess. And we need to relieve ourselves because we imposed it upon ourselves. We imposed it upon ourselves. Who would have thought? Who would have thought that June 10th, 2021 would not have seen, at the very least, an election date yet? Who would have thought so? But then again, the current crop led by Alan Shastri He has flouted our laws. He has done everything in a manner to which we are totally unaccustomed. But I believe no ashi, no join. Sadly, I will be taking no calls tonight. My technician is not the best tonight. And, you know, all good things must come to an end. So I want to leave you, those of you who voted for the United Workers' Party, to go into some personal reflection and ask yourselves whether you've done justice to your country by letting Alan Shastney handle the affairs of this country. We have had nothing done in the last 5 years. Nothing. Not one project. Not one. And most of all, not most, all the projects that could have been completed, the airport, St. Jude, street lighting, North East Link Road, all the big projects that could have been completed because of the financing arrangements. Those financial arrangements sort of eluded the ability to put your hands in the cookie jar. And that did not go well. And so we saw the refinancing of St. Jude. We saw the moving away from the arrangement with the airport. We saw the cancelling of the loan from the CDB for the street lighting. We saw many attempts by this government to urge the QET government to change the financing model. They did not budge. Folks, we need to bring, or rather restore, a semblance of good governance to this country, to bring in a government that will not only do what is right for its people and ensure that its people are placed first, but will also ensure that the resources of this country, by and large, remains in the hands of our locals. I have over 200 and something text messages to be on, WhatsApp messages. I am inundated, I am overwhelmed. Those of you I did not respond to, rest assured, I will make good on whatever request that you sent me next week, hopefully. But in the meantime, I just want to wish everyone a safe weekend. And Pan City is in Castries on Sunday. Bring out your pans, stay in your balcony, in your bedroom, wherever, in your yard. Not more than 50 people. Let's wear the red shirts. Let's do what we have to do. Let us show Alan Shastney that he does not own us. Our ancestors fought for this right, and we need to exercise it. And those of you who would exercise it to bring the semblance of colonialism back on yourselves, too bad for you. I urge you to rethink your position. Until next Sunday, God willing, I'll see you guys. Until next Thursday, I said next Sunday, I'll see you guys by Central Crew. I'll see you all on Sunday. Somebody I can advertise, somebody has promised to do, the free, we'll do some aerial shots of what's happening on Sunday, and he has promised that will be his contribution. Philip J. Pierre, Prime Minister in waiting, good night, my brother. May the good Lord bless and keep you. And may the good Lord bless and keep all of you guys who are minded to do well for St. Lucia and St. Lucians. Bye. I'm out for now.
The man was keeping us informed over the last 4 years. The man
Hi, Jermaine. This is Francisca here. I just want to say thank you for the awesome job that you did at my mom's